under here we have the battery connection. We have the 3 flex cables for the LCD and the home button. So now our original assumption was that, get that disconnected so I can show you, is that this had shorted and the FPC connector needed to be micro soldered back on. However, upon setting it for micro soldering and having it connected, we realized that half the screen wasn't even programmed to turn on in the first place. What we're going to have to do from here is remove that home button that we had glued on, well, the flex cable that we had glued on, and send this one back, and then get a new screen so we can pop it on and give it to the customer as soon as possible. Look, the new screen is in. Boom. Open that one up. As I was saying, I don't know if it's got caught on before. Originally we had suspected the last FPC connector to have been damaged. Micro soldered again. So we took it in for micro soldering. Turns out the issue was that half the screen wasn't even powering on, which is likely just a manufacturer oversight, and the screen hasn't been programmed correctly when they've been refurbishing it. So we've sent that back, and the supplier has given, well, look, the supplier hasn't given us a new screen. We purchased a new screen, and hopefully they'll accept the return, given that it's not something we broke. So fingers crossed on that, if you're following this little journey of ours on this iPad. I'm just cleaning up the sides here because when we put the screen back together, obviously we want it to adhere to the frame and not this gunk that's kind of built up on the sides. I mean, yeah, you could overlook this if you really want to, but is that really good customer satisfaction? You've got to be so thorough in cleaning this too, is the surface area of an iPad is so large that you can crack that LCD if one thing is just out of place a little bit. And trust me, I've incurred that issue more than once, and it is not the best sound nor the best experience having to go through replacing that. The only way to get around that really is patience and practice. Let's work on the new iPad. That's clean. Look at this. Glad I got this on video. So look, a bit of story time with me. Dad and I used to work in computers, and we worked with someone else. And turns out a lot of our parts, they look the same. We would both order it in. Our quality would be a bit more different. But it would never operate at the same level as the person we used to work with. Turns out they were actually taking our parts because they looked exactly the same. So to bypass this, what we did is we put a bit of the invisible ink, and then you have the light to activate it onto our parts. So after we'd both finished working on it, we could shine that little laser or that little light to see if those were our parts. By the looks of it, our supplier doesn't really have much faith because they've done the same thing. However, if you can see, I'll focus in. Can you see that little writing there under all the smudges? Yeah. Sometimes you can see invisible ink.
Man, quit playing with me, man. No, for real, don't play like that. Are you serious?
What? Why are you beeping? I didn't even swear. Now you're just beeping for no reason. I didn't even use a cuss word. Stop using that beeper. Alright, let's put our home button on. Alright, let's open the gate. Gate's open. Is this going to be sufficient?
That man's bars is not sufficient. You get me?
So, not what?
Sufficient.
Sufficient.
Alright, now's the hard part. I'm going to connect these flex cables to their connection points and We are going to hope that they do not crack. Forward, backwards in, roll forward, backwards in. This is the bad boy here. I was not recording the whole time. I pressed record to end the recording because the iPad powered on. Which means...
Oh, genius! Absolute genius! Would you believe it? And it's...